Hello, YouTube world. Thanks for tuning in. Today we have yet another video which involves stocks and bonds. And today we'll be going over a healthcare stock, ACA Healthcare Inc. They basically help provide with healthcare services in different states in Washington. Um, I believe they help with the elderly and get new information out. These guys, they do pay a dividend of 0.72. ACA healthcare stock platform. Um, this stock caught my attention because I think healthcare has been doing quite well during um these tariffs and everything. But unfortunately, they do go for $402.77, and they're down 2.20. But basically, before the hours open, we're going to dive right into it. So remember, green is to buy, red is to sell. And right here, even though it's opening hours, we should definitely see something that around 8:30 is when the hours open up. And as you can see, it's below this red, this middle line right here, all this red. So in previous videos, you can hold, but a lot of times people will definitely sell right here in that area. So let's take a look for the rest of the week. Yeah, so as you can see right here, this middle line between 409 and 405, right? Green is to buy, red is to sell. But at the same time, you notice how this middle line and the green is above it. So there's a high possibility sometime later this week that you'll definitely see the profit of this stock, right? Green is to buy, red is to sell. Let's take a look for the rest of the month. Well, there's only a couple more days anyway. You see this healthcare. Everybody knew do need healthcare, right? And so like I said once before, this middle line right here is only thing you need to pay attention to. Everything else is like irrelevant in the sense of that dot that could be right here, but this is the most important line. This middle one right there is the determining factor of pretty much how this stock will go. Let's take a look for the next 3 months. As you can see, this stock looks real good, real healthy. Green is to buy, red is to sell, and it goes right above that line right here. Where you see this area right there, and so go across all the way. Takes a small dip, but right here, it's looking real healthy. It's looking real promising. So let's take a look for the next 6 months. Yep. And as you can see, as you can tell, right, it's above the 358. Now, I'm just going over like the basic understanding because it's kind of hard to really understand the graph or if it's your first time investing when it's so advanced, when it's so like, you know, they're throwing a lot of vocabulary words at you, right? And it's like discouraging. But this is pretty much what they read. This is the graph right there. And so that line always, right? This line right here, right, going through right there, the middle. One of the things that I learned too, if you're good in math, like with the graph and the centerpiece and the radius and all that, the study of the circle, like that will definitely, excuse me, give you an advantage on how to read the graph, right? So that line right here through the middle, and they got acorns and different like investing apps, but a lot of them apps, they really don't show you anything, or they just you invest and they do the investing for you. But this way, I kind of wanted to learn what they were doing, even though I'm not no professional. But it's kind of like the same groundwork. So let's take a look for the next year. Once again, these are all predictions, right? But that middle line right here, yeah, there's, it's the graph is below it, but because of this area, there's so much going on, and it's above this middle line right here. You see that up in that area? Green is to buy, red is to sell, and so it's above this line right there, and boom. So, always. Oh yeah, thank you for the question. I'm just going over, stocks and bonds. How to read the graph to the most basic level. That's all I'm really doing. So for the next 2 years, and trying to create generational wealth, right? Investing in today's time is going to be very, very, very important. Because with the prices going up, something gotta come back in our pockets, right? But here's that middle line right there, right? That middle, it'll never change, right? It'll never change. Where that middle line is between the 389 and the 319, this middle line will never change. So anything above it, right here, especially when it's green, I would suggest, if you got a few dollars, to go on ahead and put your money in that HCA healthcare. 5 years, yeah. You see all this down here. Now it's green, because of this back area also, right? This whole area right here is kind of where you want to look at, because there's a great deal of a profit margin. And people gotta go to the hospital. People get sick, right? So that line that's across here, I go all the way here, boom, boom, and boom, and it's above that middle line, and that's green, and it's above this middle line, and it's green. So yeah, it pays dividend as well. But the best thing to do also is to hold as long as you can. But if it's doing too much like red, too much like you're not seeing um your profit at all, man, you know, I'll say just sell it. So that's 5 years. So let's see what it looks like in 10 years. Yeah, super incredible. You know, one of these days I'll show you guys what I invest in. I got like Comcast. I got AT&T. Um, let me see. And I got Main Street Capital. But I'll definitely show you guys sometime soon. But here we go right here, right? We can just go right here. We have to even worry about this, because from here and up, this is the most important area for this stock. You know, That middle line right here, green is to buy, red is to sell. So, yeah, most definitely. Now let's take a look for the overall performance. Definitely, it shoots all the way up. It has a small, a small pushback for the opening hours, but for the long term, 10 years overall performance, it's all right here. Green is to buy, red is to sell. I would like to say, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, keep investing.